Happy New Year. Or is it? Or is it? Um, at this time of year, we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get really busy doing, get super active, trying to create new things in our life. Um, whether that's a new diet or exercise regime, starting a new project or business or whatever. Um, there's a common slogan that's thrown around this time of year: New Year, New You. Have you heard of it? New Year, New You. And it's almost everywhere we look, and our email inbox is bombarded, and the advertisements are on social media or the TV are all telling us that we have to join everyone else in the frenzy of new, the frenzy of new, the frenzy of doing, the frenzy of new, the frenzy of do, even. And this time of year, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, um, it may not be the best time for this. We are currently following the Gregorian calendar of 12 months of either 30 or 31 days, and you've obviously got February as well. However, before that calendar was introduced, we had a much more natural calendar, one that actually reflected nature. And that was a 13-month calendar of 28 days. And so it was really easy because Monday was the first, Tuesday was the second, Wednesday was the third of the month, and it would go like that. It was always the same every single month. So you knew if it was the 17th of what day of the week it was or whatever. But that 28-day cycle also reflects the moon, it reflects the oceans, it reflects the menstrual cycle. It reflects nature. And when we moved over to the Gregorian calendar, many of us have ever since been unconsciously out of sync with nature's rhythm. And when it became super clear to me that in the middle of winter, it's not the time for me to personally get super busy in the doing side of things, I started to pull back a bit from how I approach the new year with people. So I still acknowledge it because it is such a mainstream, general thing that is occurring, and I don't need to deny that or try to pretend it's not happening or something. But my intent in which I engage it these days is different, and I'm going to give you the invitation today to also engage it that way too. I would love for you to um, let yourself off the hook this time of year if you're not feeling like getting really busy. If you're actually feeling a bit tired, that's okay. If you're kind of feeling like you just want to kind of hibernate, go internal, be more inward, that's okay. Sigh of relief. One, two, three. It's okay. It's actually nature's rhythm to give way from the activity of spring, summer, and autumn to more dormancy in these winter months, especially, obviously, I'm talking to those in the Northern Hemisphere right now, where life does become more still and we retreat inwards. Now, physically, we do it to stay in from the cold, but their outer reflects the inner, right? So we can also be looking to retreat a little bit, and that's okay from all the busyness and the doing and the activity and stuff. But don't worry, you don't just have to sit on the couch and watch Netflix for the next couple of months. There's many things you can do that supports this time of year, supports the natural nature's rhythm. And actually, my calendar and things I offer are reflecting that. So just a little bit more information about that if you're wondering. 28-day months, months. Another word for moon, months. So it was really the month came from the moon cycle. Okay, months. The 13-month, if you're wondering, it isn't actually number 13. It's in there in the middle there. Number 6 actually they took away. It was called sextilis. Sextilis. Okay. It was the 6 months of the year, the 6 month or month of the year, the 6 month cycle of the year. Okay. And when you start to recognize this, you start to go, well, of course, this was always the case because sept in Latin means seven, not nine for September, like it is these days. Octo means eight. Novem means nine. And Decem means 10. Okay. So December is not the 12th month. It was never intending to be. It is these days in the Gorian calendar, but it was actually the 10th. And it makes more sense of why it was called that. Okay. Um, so when is the new year? Well, it's end of March, beginning of April. Um, April comes from the Latin word aprio, which means to open. And to open it reflected the buds of spring and opening up to new life and again new beginnings and the activity starting again and a year again. So April is actually the new year. So shall we do a happy new year party in March 31st? It just makes a lot more sense for me. And ever since playing it this way, I've found myself to be healthier because I haven't been out of sync so much with nature. Winter, like I said, it's a time to retreat mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's all about going inward. It's a time to rest, to recharge, to reflect. So lots of R's there. To rest, recharge, reflect. To contemplate. So we're going to do some contemplation today. It's a time to meditate. Hence, I'm doing a meditation retreat in January, for example. It's a time to gain clarity. It's a time to take stock. It's a time to plan, prepare. And often that requires time to learn. Okay. So if you want to do something new in the spring, if you want to do something new in the spring, then now is a good time to learn so that you're ready for that. Okay. If you're curious, spring is a time for new projects, sowing seeds, having even more new ideas and inspiration. And that is a time to start to act, to maybe take some risks, to start to pursue opportunities. The summer is a really interesting month. It's a time of not hiding. Okay, so if there's ever a season in your year to not hide, it would be the summer. Symbolically and physically, the sun is the highest above us. We have the shortest shadow in the summer. So it's a time for no secrets. It's a time for no hiding in the summer. It's a time for getting out there, being out there. And this is the funny thing because society, what does society associate with summer? Vacations, summer holidays. So this again is like just starting to take stock and go, am I going to be in sync with society or do I want to actually find nature's rhythm again? And actually summer is a time to be out there and active and really out there and doing, you know? But I think it's such a lovely metaphor that the sun is at its highest above us and it's a time for no hiding. It's a time of light, joy, expression, and wholehearted action. That's what the summertime is for. And like I said, to me, it's a sign that we've been out of sync because summer, for me, was always associated with going on holiday and actually stopping the doing and going on holiday, right? So it's really interesting, I find. And then autumn is a time for reaping the rewards. The reaping the rewards of the efforts for counting your blessings and also exploring potential failures things that didn't go so well, and exploring what went on there and being honest about it and taking the feedback, etc., etc. And it's obviously a time for gratefulness and gratitude as well, appreciation and actually recognizing. And if you were just to stick with this simple rhythm of nature, where if your life reflected the energy and intent and a natural movement of the seasons, you might find your year flows more easily. And you're healthier, you age slower, you don't get burnt out as much, because you will have built into that time of retreat, time of recharging, time of action, time of being out there, and then time of being more in here. Okay? So as we explore the questions and the preview questions that I like to explore this time of year, do it with from this intention. I would invite you to engage these questions from a contemplative place, a place of curiosity, a place of intent forming, a place of planning, but not necessarily feeling like you need to jump and get going with it immediately, because there might be preparation that's required to really make it the greatest success in the summer and the autumn. Okay, makes sense so far? I love it. It slows the pace of our lifetime. A lot of, when you look at the root cause of colds and flus that a lot of people get around this time of year, one of the mind-body connection causes is relentless non-stop living. Check it out. It's in the book. Relentless non-stop living. It's also a time when you do stop, your body wants to detox, like was mentioned before we came on the call today by Ian. So you're not doing anything wrong if your body needs to recharge. If your body gets the flu or whatever this time of year, it's actually it's also part of nature's rhythm as well. So again, don't feel like you're failing if your body needs to detox. Give it the support it needs, give it the love it needs, give it the rest it needs, give it the fluids and the healthy nutrition it needs, etc., etc. So my suggestion from this little intro is to use this time of year to go inward through contemplation, self-inquiry, meditation, and intention setting. To be still, guilt-free rest, guilt-free inner peace. Give yourself a chance to recharge, and also use this time to get clear, to know what you want, to set some intentions, and be ready.